Hi, I'm professional makeup artist Bobby Riley, and today we are getting back to basics. It's back to school, so it's also back to work, and it's back to getting that face looking incredible. So if you do want to update your basic face routine, get a little bit more professional technique, keep watching. After practicing the techniques in this video, this is the look you should be able to achieve. We'll get started with these First Aid Beauty Radiance Facial Pads. I love them. They're great for sensitive skin and they have glycolic and lactic acid in them. Next, I'll be using the MZ Skin Calming Moisturizer to moisturize my skin. You also want to make sure that you have a moisturized palette no matter what you are going to be putting over top. Now this is a first time try thanks to the Ipsy box, but I am going to hydrate my lips with the Beso Balm by JLo Beauty. Next, I'll be using Kate Burki's Lift and Firm Form Control Collagen Gel. I have recently discovered a lot of anti-aging products, and this is just one that Ipsy has put in their box, and I really wanted to try actually. After I'm done with my skincare routine, I love setting it with the Milk Hydrogrip Spray. I just feel like this is a great sealer and also gives my skin a burst of hydration before adding primer. Speaking of primer, the Milk Cloud Priming Foam has definitely been a recent fave. I'm such a fan, but yes, prime next. After I finish priming, I go in with the Fenty Beauty Eye Brightener in an orange. And yes, I know it's an eye brightener, but I actually like to use it to brighten and correct all over. I have some pigmentation on my skin or some uneven parts, so I just like to go ahead and even them out prior to adding foundation. Next, I'm applying the Sublime Perfection Foundation by Pat McGrath Labs with a blender sponge. I did wet the sponge, that's why it is big and bouncy. I love this foundation because it just gives the perfect skin finish, and it has about a medium coverage level. This has to be my favorite as far as the tones that it brings out in my complexion, and also the coverage level and the finish, and also the wear time. I just find that I am completely obsessed with PMG foundation. What's up, mother? After applying my foundation, I left my under eye bare so that I can then apply this Hourglass foundation stick. It's the Vanish stick. I just love that it is full coverage, but again gives that skin finish. I think because it's a foundation stick. I am using a technique that I'd like to call feathering it in as I am blending. I am using this medium fluffy brush by Tai Young Beauty, and I absolutely love the way that it just blends out my foundation, and it's also very soft under my eye. Instead of using a eyeshadow primer, I actually just like to use whatever I'm using as my concealer as that. I just find that it has a better finish and actually matches my concealer as well. You'll also find that concealers a lot of the time are very similar to eyeshadow primers. And I also want my eye, the highlight of my eye, to mimic the highlight under my eye as well. As you can see, I've gone back in with my beauty blender just to blend things out. Next, I'm going to be using 2 shades of Danessa Myricks Beauties Blurring Balm Blush. Yes, that is such a tongue twister. I actually like to use 2 blushes, one to highlight the cheekbone and then one to round it out and kind of do that contouring. This adds dimension to the cheekbone. I found that these cream blushes just go better when I blend them out with my fingers. I have a lot more control over where the pigment lands and how it looks. This also warms up the product to my skin and just makes it cinch in like so beautifully. This dynamic blush also has a technology called Upsolite. It is a ingredient that has the highest blurring content. So if you truly want a flawless finish, any of the blurring balm products, even the foundation, are really going to give you that effect. And I have the Gettys to prove it. I mean, I've used this for so many carpet looks and editorial looks, and photographers have thanked me personally for not having to retouch their looks. Oh, and I'm also adding just a bit to the nose to give that sun-kissed effect that everyone's been loving all summer. Next, I'm using the Pat McGrath Sublime Perfection Blurring Under Eye Powder. I'm using this with my medium-sized Jessup fluffy brush just to give that airbrushed effect. And what I love about this powder is it's pretty translucent but gives this perfectly blurring, brightening finish. I'm tapping this under the eye and I'm doing it ever so lightly. I promise you the lightest touch will give you the most beautiful blend. I'm keeping this nice and controlled in the areas that I truly want to be highlighted and set. So that's my under eye, that is on my eyelids as well, just because my eye beds can be just a tad bit oily. And I'm also going to put some underneath my nose as well, because I do want to keep that area nice and bright. Next, I'm going in with my Thai Young Beauty foundation brush, and I am going to add a little bit of my foundation color in my one size foundation powder to those areas as well, underneath my cheekbones, on my lip area, just to kind of blend that highlight out, and anywhere else that I want to be mostly even and also a tad bit matte. Next, I'm using my small puff from Luminous Beauty to bake underneath my eye and underneath my cheekbone that touches almost to my jawline. I am using the one size translucent powder. I like to bake with a thin, no color translucent powder. This does add more dimension. It makes those areas that you want to be highlighted, also mattifies them and sets them in really, really nicely. I love the finish that I have when I bake for a few minutes, so I do like to leave this on. And usually I am a little less particular about where it falls, but because I want this application to be seamless, I am taking my time, and I also want to make sure the translucent powder is very even in all the places I place it in. While I'm baking, I absolutely love to just do my eyeshadow. That way, if I have any fallout, this is going to catch it. So I'm going to go first in with a lighter brown just to give my eyes some dimension, right? Next, I'm going to round out my eye with a deeper brown. So I'm going to use my brush to go a little bit tighter into my eye, and this actually accentuates my eye shape. If you're doing this at home and we don't have similar eye shapes, I want you to just intuitively follow yours with the brush. Start with small strokes right at the corner and take it all the way in to the inner corner of the eye. So from the outer corner to the inner corner, you're just going to swish your brush back and forth. Now I'm actually going in with the Thai Young Beauty concealer brush. I love this flat brush when it comes to adding certain foundations that I want to be in more control placement to my eye. I'm going to be placing the gold from the Il Makiage palette on my lid. This highlights my lid and also makes my eyes just look flirty and beautiful, and I love using a nice brown or even sometimes a peach to just accentuate my eye shape. And just for good measure, I'm actually pressing this shadow into my eyelid now with my finger. It just looks more vibrant when I add that final touch. Next, in soft hair-like strokes, I'm going to be adding my Benefit eyebrow pencil, and I'm going to actually start in the inner corner of my eye. You want to take your brow from the inner corner to the outer corner of your eye. That's how you can measure, and that arch should fall in the middle right after your lid. Be thorough and take your time when you're filling in sparse areas in your eyebrows. That way your eyebrows can be even, but remember, they're sisters and not twins. Now I'm going to take my Thai Young Beauty brow brush and just comb out my brows ever so lightly. That way this blends my brow with that brow pencil, with those brow pencil strokes. Then I'm going to go back into that center area and add this liquid brow pencil by Maybelline. I've really been loving this Build-A-Brow. It just looks like, it looks exactly like brow hairs. Now this is my secret trick that only my clients and now you, my YouTube community, will know. I actually like to use the Duo non-latex glue to seal my brows in. Nothing gives me that brow-like effect, like the absolute best brow effect besides this glue, and then brushing it out with my brow brush as well. Like seriously, I have found nothing that compares to this yet. Next, I'm going to apply my Better Than Sex mascara. This is by Too Faced and it is actually in the Ipsy IconBox. So I start with brushing my brows down and then I go up and I kind of do like this swivel effect as I'm going up. This just adds dimension and that mascara fiber to my eye. And oh my gosh, you guys, as I'm trying to do this, I got mascara on my lid. I'm just gonna take a pointed Q-tip and swipe, boom, it's gone, just like that. Whew. I couldn't be more happy with how this look is turning out, but let me finish it off. I love using these velour individual lashes. You can find them at Sephora. It just gives that effortless, and that's their collection. That's what the collection is called. It just gives that effortless effect. So I start with looking downward and adding the glue to my lashes underneath my lash line, and then I'm going to take a mirror and look down into the mirror so that I can fully see my lash line as I apply these lashes. It's super easy and they just look so natural on. I haven't found any individual lashes that compare to these for me, to be honest. They are fluffy, they are beautiful, and they wear like the perfect strip, honestly. After I'm done with that, I'm going to go back in with my mascara just to reinforce and make sure that these lashes blend with this beautiful look that I'm creating. You're just gonna lightly feather that mascara and just kind of go in zigzags like I did before I put on the lashes. Next, I'm actually trying for the first time Danessa Myricks Beauty's liquid liner, and I am impressed. I love this ballpoint tip. It ever so lightly just glides on the eye. And as you can see, I'm just adding a little bit to accentuate my eye shape. And then just to make sure that I get that perfect pointed tip, I'm actually going to blend it out with my finger so slightly. Now that I've secured the perfect eye makeup, I'm going to take a bigger fluffy brush. This one is from Jessup, and I'm just going to swipe away that translucent powder. I'm going to take the Thai Young Beauty blush and foundation brush. It's like her biggest brush in her collection, and I'm going to swipe out that translucent powder that I put in that cheekbone area or underneath the cheekbone area to the jawline. And I'm going to go back in and reinforce that powder that I added and just do final touches with my mascara as well. One of the last things I do is go in with my Jessup flat brush and add a little dimension with a darker shade of brown. And then line my lips with a nice brown. I love Chestnut by MAC. This definitely is an all-time favorite and classic to me. My mom actually used this shade for a very, very long time, actually all of my life. So this has definitely become a staple for every neutral lip color I'm creating. I'm going to finish my lip off with this Kosas lipstick. This is my first time trying Kosas lipstick, but this was in my Ipsy box, and I love how mindful they were about the shade that they gave me. It's very rosy, and it actually matches my blush pretty well. Final touch is always a hair primp and a fragrance. I'm using Commodities Juice, and this was also in the Ipsy box. I actually really like the way that this smells, and I'm just gonna fan it out all over me. And there you have it. That is the final look. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and let's go over some aftercare. Don't forget that after you're done with makeup, you want to make sure to clean your brushes, because if you don't, bacteria can start to form inside your brushes. So all I do is take my quick cleaner, and this is, I believe it's Cinema Secrets. I will leave the details in the caption, but you just want to spray it. I usually spray it 2 times and then wipe it off right here. As you can see, the makeup comes right out. If it still looks like there's a little bit more makeup in it, you want to spray it a little bit more. And for every 3 quick cleans that I do, I actually end up doing like a soaping, like deep conditioning of my brushes. And there you have it. It's all done. So make sure you clean your brushes at the end and your sponge as well. You can soap this down with dish soap and scrub out the parts that have makeup on it. And then you'll wash it out all the way until you don't hear anything inside this. It should sound like this, nothing. Make sure that you pack your makeup, you wipe it down, and you store it clean, fresh, clear, under control. You do not want anything to break out that beautiful face. So just make sure that you're taking care of it by cleaning your brushes. Please, please clean your brushes, please. All right, cut. I truly hope you enjoyed this video from start to finish, and I hope that you can walk away being able to do your routine seamlessly. Remember that progress is a process. Don't forget to subscribe, and of course, follow me on socials. Thank you for watching. Bye.